Welcome, my sunshine yogis, to this class, which will be a full body flow, focusing on pretty much everything in the body to allow us to help unwind from the day, to stretch, to strengthen, to build a little stamina, and to work on our balance. So let's begin in the middle of our mats, and we'll just start with some breath work. So find your comfortable seat, and I'm going to sit in a cross-legged position, but whatever that is for you, just get into it. And before we actually drop into the breath work, let's take a moment to just relax our shoulders and to kind of let go of our day. So one really nice, simple sequence that I really like is to inhale and to draw the shoulders up to the ears. So we're getting this big squeeze effect. And so much of the time we hold so much tension up here. And then on the exhale, you're just going to let it go with a ha as you drop the shoulders down. So let's do that a couple of times. Big breath in as you lift and squeeze all the way up to your ears. You should feel that kind of contraction here. Exhale with a drop the shoulders and let it go. One more time, just like that. Big inhale as we lift, squeeze, and then exhale, just let that go. And hopefully you feel some of the weight of the day release with that. And go ahead and close your eyes, and let's keep our lips sealed. And we'll drop right into our Ujjayi breathing. So allowing this breath to help guide us into our seat and onto our mats. A wonderful form of breathing that has an audible quality. So a lot of times that sound can help kind of anchor us into our bodies if our minds are very distracted. As we breathe in through the nose, and we drag that breath back across the back of the throat. And as we exhale, we do the same. As we press the breath out, we kind of drag it across the back of the throat, creating a ha sound, but with the lips sealed. So come into your own version of this style of breathing, reminding ourselves that the lips stay sealed and we're just breathing in and out through the nose. Try to relax your shoulders down and away from your ears and find a nice long spine. But the more that we sit down and drop down into our sit bones, the more we can pull up through the crown of the head, the more that our spine will lengthen. You spend a lot of days sitting, which I do, unfortunately, with my job. You'll note that your torso kind of collapses as you sit. So the ribs roll in, the shoulders roll forward, and everything in that midsection gets kind of contracted. So really beautiful to, while you're breathing, extend and open up here. You may even feel a nice release to allow the lungs to really breathe into full capacity, and then to exhale deeply. Allow yourself to just find a rhythm here. Kind of get, hooked into the rhythm of your breath. And if you can, let other distractions around you just kind of fade away. You've done the hard work by making it to your mat. So now's your time to just fully drop in. Be present. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy your body. Good. Take a few more rounds. Deep breath in. Really expand as you drop that breath down towards the belly. Exhaling out through the nose, pulling the navel towards the spine. Let's do one more big breath in. Longer breath out. Good, and then you invite your eyes to open. And let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together. So we're going to get right into the hips. Toes are going to touch, the heels are going to touch. And then just slide your ankles and your heels in any amount that feels like a good stretch, but not a forced stretch. If you grab onto your ankles or the outer edges of your feet, you can then begin to invite the knees to draw down. So we're going to feel this in our inner legs and outer hips. Really nice stretch, especially if you've been sitting. And as you root through your sit bones, again, think of lifting up through the crown of the head, get nice and tall. So you want to invite in a nice long spine. Gravity will help you draw those knees down, so you don't need to be crushing it or really working the knees open. They'll open over time. Just be conscious and breathe. Try to relax your shoulders even here. Sitting up tall. And then holding on to the ankles, or you may even want to interlace your fingers and slide them underneath your feet. So you're grabbing the outer edges of your feet. Let's add a little movement to wake up the spine. So think of cow-cat. As you inhale, go ahead and lift the center of your chest. Drop your shoulder blades down and back. See if you can really press those knees open here. And then as you exhale, tuck and round. Bring the chin towards the chest, lean back, try to straighten your arms and scoop out your belly as you do so. Again, inhale, let's lengthen, lift, pull the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, tuck, round, and curl in. You may want to close your eyes as you move between the two, just allowing for a deeper experience. And perhaps using your mind's eye here to really focus on your spine. As you breathe in, you lift, get tall, shoulders draw down the back. As you breathe out, think of rounding, tucking chin to chest, opening up the vertebra. Let's do two more. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you round it back. One more inhale to lift. And then exhale to round it back. Good stuff. All right, come upright and spread your legs wide. So we're going to come into a straddle. This isn't a position we take very often, so it may feel pretty tight. Feel free to keep a bend in your knees, but keep your kneecaps and your toes pointing up. Let's go ahead and bend the knees to start with. Bring your hands back behind you. And I want you to just roll your right hip and your knee towards the ground. You should feel a nice stretch. This is a great internal rotation position, and opening up the hips in that manner. And then we'll take it to the other side. Rolling that left hip forward and down. The knee comes towards the mat or touches down, either way. And just move between the two. So I know we don't do a lot of internal rotation, and this actually might feel kind of tight to you. It does to me, but all the more reason to kind of get in there, oiling up the hip joints, kind of creating a little more lubrication here, mobility. And then one more on this side. Good. Now come back to your straddle. Let's flex those feet. Keep your left hand behind you. Lift the right arm up. And then turn your torso towards the left and reach out and over for whatever you can find. Toes, ankle, shin. And I want you to take a breath in as you lift your heart towards your toes. As you breathe out, start to lean forward and down. So we're targeting that low back, that quadrant on the right side. We can hold a lot of tension there, especially, again, if we've been sitting. The body loves to just get stuck in certain places, and this is one. This is a great, great stretch for getting out of that stuckness. Keep lifting your heart towards your toes, keeping a long spine. Good, and then rise up and let's walk the fingertips straight down the middle. So again, rather than folding in, let's think about staying long in our spine, crawling the fingertips forward and maybe not going that far down. Don't worry about that. Keep thinking about lifting up and out of your low back. Stretching forward, bending the knees if you need to, if that helps with those hamstrings and the inner leg lines. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips, creating a little traction. Rooting through the sit bone, getting long. Oh, that should feel good. Little low back therapy. Walk yourself in and then take those right fingertips back behind you. Prop up on them. Bring the left arm up, turn towards the right. And then same thing, out and over to the right side, grabbing onto whatever you can find. So toes, ankles, shin, doesn't matter what it is. And again, if you can, try to avoid the rounding, but stay lifted with your sternum facing towards your toes. Deep breaths here. Stretching out the lower left quadrant now. And maybe you notice there's a difference between the two. You may hold tension more in one side than the other. I know I do. And that's pretty common. Most of us do. Good. One more breath in. And then on the exhale, let's come back and up. Bring your hands underneath your knees to slide your legs together. And then bend the knees. You'll place your feet on the floor with the heels in line with the sit bones. Bring your hands back behind you, fingertips facing those sit bones. Take a moment to wrap your shoulders back, lift your chest, open your heart, and then press into your feet and hands. Let's scoop the tailbone up and come into your reverse tabletop. A really nice stretch for the front of the hips. You can look forward, or if the body's open to it, drop the head back, open your throat, and keep rolling the front of the shoulder heads back and down. A nice inner thigh squeeze here. Imagine there's a block there. Get strong in your legs. Big breath in. Lift your heart a little more. On the exhale, let's come on down. Nice. Let's spin around to hands and knees. I'm going to face you here so you can see where we're going. Nice shoulder stretch in a tabletop position. So my knees are underneath my hips. You can tuck your toes or bring the feet to the flat, whatever works. And we're going to take our hands off the mat and do little spider fingertips here. Sorry, you can probably hear Blue sneezing. He has allergies, poor baby. All right, so hands are wide. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to bend your right elbow and you're going to look to the left. Drop that shoulder towards the mat and turn your gaze to the left. So a nice front of shoulder stretch here. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, other side. Bend into that left elbow. Drop the left shoulder and look to the right. Again, inhale, come up. Exhale, let's do it to the other side. Looking left, dropping that right shoulder. Inhale up. And other side to the left. Hopefully this feels good. All right, come on up. And then we'll tuck the toes, sit back onto your heels, coming into a toes pose. And let's get one more nice shoulder release. So bring your hands to the tops of the shoulders, elbows are wide. And we're just going to start to roll the elbows in circles, taking them forward first. Really spreading into the roots of your toes there. So you should be feeling something there as well, but let's concentrate on the effects this is having on our shoulders. Pause, and then let's reverse that. And take it as wide as you possibly can. This really helps with, again, mobility and providing some lubrication in the shoulder joints, releasing some tension. Nice. And then very quickly, we'll stay on those toes. If you can't, go ahead and release. But I'm still there, so hang in there if you can with me. Let's take the right hand up to the left ear and gently draw right ear to right shoulder. So the left hand can just stay relaxed, or you may want to pull it out and away. A little more engagement here. But the neck and the shoulder all super connected when we feel tight here and crunchy. Oh, my poor baby, the allergies are so bad. Good. And then releasing that, let's take it to the other side. Left hand to left ear, right ear, excuse me. Draw the left ear to the left shoulder, and then maybe let your right arm float away from the body. Direct your breath into this side of your neck. Be aware of what kind of tension you're holding there and see if you can mindfully let it go with your breath. Good. And then gently release that. Come off of your toes, give them a little tap, and then let's make our way into traditional tabletop. Actually, I'll invite you to bring your hands a little bit forward of your shoulders. And taking the circles to the right, let's start to move the hips, taking them all the way back to the heels and forward, rolling to the right. Let your head go here. This is also great for the knees and the shoulders, not just the hips. The spine is also getting a nice little stirring up here. Really nice way to kind of get all these big joints opened up. Good. And then bringing yourself to tabletop, walking the wrists below the shoulders, stacking yourself up here. Let's take that right leg back. You're going to lift it up. You can point the toes here if you like. Find a little extension through those toes. So feel that you're lengthening out from the top of your bum all the way out through the toe tips. Hug your navel in. Let your spine get nice and long. Feel that connection to your core. As you breathe in, let's lift the toes and lift the heart so you can look forward here. Breathe out, knee to nose, round and pull in. Good. Again, inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, keep the arms straight as you pull in. So round your spine and keep your core connected. One more time, inhale to lift. Reach the toes back. Exhale to pull in, nice and strong. Last time, send it back. And then step your foot to the outside of your right hand, setting up for lizard. Let's walk that back knee back. First, really big hip opener here. Find a connection between your right elbow and your right inner knee. Go ahead and press those two together for a little engagement of your right inner thigh. Make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle and your toe and your knee, toes and your knee are pointing forward. Let your hips melt, pull your heart up. Just breathe into the sensation we're creating here. Notice where you might be holding some tension. Try to create space. Allow the space to move itself in to wherever that tightness is. Maybe even closing the eyes and directing your breath there. And then plant your left palm underneath your left shoulder and take your right hand to rest right on your thigh, just behind the top of your knee. Now we're going to keep our toes and knee facing forward, adding on a twist. So press this right hand into your thigh and from your belly button, start to turn the torso to the right. So I want you to really try to feel this in your spine. From the very base of the spine, like a corkscrew, all the way out through the crown of the head. Keep pulling your right hip crease back. Keep drawing that right knee slightly in, not away from you. Toes and kneecap pointing forward. Roll your left ribs under, right shoulder back. One more breath in here. And then exhale, let's unwind. Hands inside that foot. Draw the hips back, straighten your front leg. Now I pulled my toes back, but you don't need to if that feels too intense. But coming into our half split, we'll add a little variation here. So let me turn around so you'll be able to see. Toes pulling back. We're going to walk our hands out at a diagonal to the left. So about 45 degrees here, hands in line with the shoulders. You're going to take a deep breath in. If you need to, keep that right knee bent. On the exhale, press your hips back. Let your chest drop towards the floor. But keep kind of energizing your heart towards your fingertips. So you've got this traction going on. Lengthening the torso, really lengthening the hamstring. Breathing into this, a pretty intense stretch, at least it is for me. So be with it. Know that your breath is always something to lean into here. Good. And then walking the fingertips in, place that right foot onto the floor if you had it up. And then we're going to spin our left toes off the mat. So you're going to come into a gate pose here. The left knee and the left hip are going to stack, and you're going to rise on up with that right knee bent. So my right toes are pointing away. Bend into your right knee, bring your right forearm to your thigh. Start to get a good stretch in the inner leg line here, and come into your extended side angle here. Modified variation on our knees. Feel the lengthening out the left fingertips. Really press into that right thigh. Come into your lunge as deep as it feels good for you. And then let's give that top arm a couple of circles just to roll that shoulder out. Nice. Reversing if you'd like. Good. And then coming upright, we're going to straighten that front leg and pivot the toes to the long side of the mat. I'm going to turn just a tiny bit so you can see me here. I'm going to pick up my left heel and come onto the toes of my left foot. Bring your right arm up, left hand to your hip. Start to lean back, just getting a good stretch here if you can. Take that left hand to find your left heel. If you make that connection, press the hips forward, lean back. You should be feeling a really good stretch in your left hip flexor. If you're not, I don't know, try something different. Breathe in, open up that body. Breathe out to come all the way up. Good job. Let's rebend into your front knee. Come on down and then pivot yourself back to your tabletop position. So draw that right knee in line with the left. Take a walk with the hands forward of the shoulders, and let's make those hip circles to the left now. So just finding that other direction, maybe feeling a little bit more loose here as we do this other side. Close your eyes. Just feel everything beginning to warm up, open up. Good. And then bring yourself to tabletop, walking the hands underneath the shoulders. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Let's send the left leg back this time. Point the toes. Feel as if you could extend from the top of your bum all the way out through your toe tips. So get really nice and long. Connect the front body and the back body through the core. Press firmly through the palms and feel your chest rising up and away from the mat. Big breath in as you lift your toes, look forward. Breath out, knee to nose, round and curl in. Hug your navel in and up. Inhale to stretch it back, open up. Exhale to pull it in, strong core, navel lifts. Inhale, extend. Reach back. Exhale, draw it in. Press into your hands, spread your shoulders wide. Last time, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, big step forward, left foot outside of the left hand. Wiggle your right knee back if you like. Make that alignment of knee to ankle. And take a few breaths here as you open up into your lizard pose on this side. Notice where you feel the tightness. Is it in the front of your right hip or is it in your left? Or maybe both, could be both. Just without any judgment, observe. Be conscious of it. Send your breath and awareness there. And then adding that yummy twist, right hand plants into the mat underneath the shoulder, left hand right to the thigh, right behind the kneecap. So keep the toes and the knee facing forward, press down into the thigh, and go ahead and turn your chest from your navel all the way around. Maybe taking your gaze up here. See if you can really tap into that sensation of unwinding the muscles all along the length of the spine. Keep growing long out through the crown of the head. Maybe you get a nice little chiropractic release here. Sometimes the twist can offer that, we need it. Beautiful. One more breath in. And on the exhale, release, bringing that left hand inside. Let's pull back to our half splits here. Different side, different story. Doesn't have to be a bad story, but it might be a more sensitive story. Maybe you're feeling a little more heat here. Just do your best. Again, toes can be plugged into the mat, or you can pull them back towards you. The knee does not need to be straight, or the leg. Do what you need to make this work for you. And then we'll add on our little walk to the right. So you want to bring the hands off the mat over to the right side, add a diagonal. Take a deep breath in, plug into your finger pads, exhale as you press the hips back and you melt your heart down. So lots going on here. Feel your torso lengthening, feel your hip and hamstring opening. Feel your breath moving through your body. Please let it move through. Don't hold your breath here. Keep it active. Beautiful. One more breath in. On the exhale, slowly walk the hands in and then bend into that front knee. Drop the foot to the floor. You're going to kickstand your right foot off the mat, tuck the toes, and come on up. Let's release the left forearm to the thigh, come into your lunge, and bring that right arm up and overhead. So this variation of extended side angle, we're lengthening our right side. We're getting into a deep stretch into our hips and the groin area there. Soften your right inner shoulder close to your ear. And let's add some nice big circles with the arm. Keep your breath moving. Find some fluidity here. Reverse. Take it nice and wide. Good. And then bring yourself up, straightening that front leg, and then pivoting the toes to face the long side of the mat. Hanging on with the left hand to the left hip, you can just reach back here, lifting your heart, pressing the hips forward, or maybe that right hand finds the right heel and then the left hand comes up. You go for a little bit deeper of a stretch. So send the hips forward, lean back, open up your chest. Dig into your toes on the right side and the outer edge of your left foot. Nice big breath in here. On the exhale, come on up. Nice work. Pivot the toes, rebend into the knee, and let's take it back to plank pose. So whatever that transition looks like for you, spread your hands nice and wide. Line your wrist creases up with the top of your mat. Push back through your heels and bring your belly button in and up. You can always modify by dropping to your knees. Just building a little heat here. Let's add on a bit of a flow. As you inhale, you're going to pike your hips slightly. Tuck your chin to your chest. Imagine you're looking at your belly button. As you exhale, you're going to extend back and out to plank. Couple more like that. Inhale, squeeze the navel in and up. Lift the hips. Exhale, re-extend. Good. Again, inhale, chin to chest. Strong core, navel pulls in and up. Exhale to extend. Last one, you should be feeling this pull up, squeeze, hug in. And then exhale, back to plank. Shift forward onto your toes. Let's lower all the way down to the belly. Nice work. All right, take your hands back behind you. Good shoulder opener here. Let's find a clasp. Anchor the tops of the feet down. Let's just work with the upper back to begin with. So as you root down through the front of the thighs and the hips and the tops of the feet, slowly begin to peel your chest up. And then press your palms together and extend your arms back behind you. Broaden your collarbones as much as you can. Feel the lift from your belly button and up. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Big breath in. Exhale to release. Turn your cheek to one side. Relax the shoulders. You can release the clasp if you'd like. Let the front of the shoulders have a bit of a rest. Regain connection to your breath. Back bends always produce a little extra oomph of energy. And then bring your chin back to center. Same thing, press the feet in. You may want to take the funky grip, switch it up here. Anchor down through the front of the thighs and the hips and the feet, and inhale, lift. Press your palms together, extend your arms back behind you. Lift your heart forward and find your shoulder blades knitting together on the back of your body. Take a deep breath in, maybe lift a little higher. And exhale to release. Nice work. Okay, let's free those arms up, turn the palms down, and take a deep breath in. Let's lift the arms and the legs. Fingertips reach back. Reach out again from the top of the bum out through the toes. Spread your toes, spread your fingers. Breathe in as you balance on your belly. And breathe out. Let's turn the opposite cheek to the other side. Relax your shoulders. Maybe wiggle your bum from side to side. Let that go. Good. And then come on up. Let's take the left arm to the front of the mat, bringing the forearm parallel to the top. Bend that right knee. Let's reach back for our right foot. Coming into a nice quad stretch here for the hips. So really think of pressing the top of your thigh bone into the mat, the front of your hip. Try to get it flush with the floor. And then draw your heel in as close as you possibly can. This is a nice shoulder opener as well as you roll that right shoulder back. Maybe a little extra lift of your heart. Nice deep breaths here. Great quad opener. And a nice stretch for the chest and the shoulder. Good, let's slowly release and switch to the other side, bringing the right forearm to ground and anchor you, bending the left knee. Reach back to find your foot. And again, think about bringing the front of your left hip and thigh flush to the mat. Really press into your hip flexor, press into your knee, press into your thigh. You'll really feel those muscles responding. Lifting the heart forward and up. Rolling your left shoulder back, feeling that nice stretch there. Deep breath in. And then exhale to release. Good work. Tuck the toes. Let's make our way into our first downward facing dog. So through hands and knees or whatever feels good. And then take whatever movement that your body is craving. So you can bend your knees, take a walk. You can find stillness, maybe turn your hips right or left, anything that really speaks to you. So much of our practice is learning to listen to our body. So finding something that you can do that your body is happy with. Good. Wherever you are, let's come into stillness, pressing the hips up and back. Draw the heels down, ground through your palms, and let your torso lengthen. Feel your spine get long. Let your shoulders relax here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Engage your legs so that you're not feeling as much weight in your wrists as you could potentially. We want to share the weight distribution between the legs and the arms. So turn on your legs a little bit more. And then let's gaze forward and take a walk to the top of the mat. Find your first forward fold, Uttanasana, and let everything go here. Anything that speaks to you, a little sway, a grabbing of elbows, interlacing the hands behind the skull to maybe open up your neck a little bit. Always feels good. Oh. Good, and then releasing that, let's take a slow roll up to stand. So root through your feet, toes are facing forward, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, and just enjoy the sensation of rebuilding your body, stacking yourself up from the ground all the way up to the crown of the head. And when you come to the top, let's give the shoulders a good roll. A couple of times up and back, and then forward and back. Letting go here. Nice. Let's come into some balance work. That can really help us to get out of our heads and to release some of the heaviness that we carry around. So we'll come into tree pose with a little option variation if you'd like to take it. So right leg will be your standing leg. Find the sole of the left foot, a place to land somewhere within your right inner leg. So it could be down at your ankle. You can guide it up to the inner thigh. And with balance work, always give yourself permission to fall because it's gonna happen. Guaranteed. It's just the nature of the beast. So get that out of your mind already. And then once you find your connection, actively press this foot and the thigh or the inner leg together wherever they meet. Find your focus. Drop into your breath. Feel the wobbles. So here's a little fun variation if you'd like to try it. Bring your left hand to your left ankle if it meets, only if it's up at the inner crease. And then bring your right arm up and overhead and take a little side bend to the left. You can kind of press your hips to the right. Stretch out that right side body. Again, all that connective tissue from sitting is really contracted, so this can help open it up. Stay with your breath. Good. Come back to center. Bring both arms up and overhead. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bring the left toe to meet the right and sit back into Utkatasana, chair pose. So drop the hips back, look down, check where your knees are. In line with one another, can you see your toes? Get light in the toes. Drop your weight into your heels. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart as we remain low. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, let's twist it out. Bring that right elbow to cross over the left thigh. Press your palms together, lengthen your spine, and then begin to turn the chest even more. So kind of like we did in that lunge, you're using your elbow as a lever to help rotate your chest. Feel this corkscrew action from your tailbone out through the crown of the head. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, back to Utkatasana. Unwind your arms, sit nice and low. And then inhale, come up, lift your left foot and knee, balancing back on that right leg. Grab your shin, draw your knee into your chest. Take a moment here to stand tall. So stack your shoulders over your hips, root down strongly through that right leg. Now, if you can, reach down for your left ankle with your left hand and gently draw your heel towards your bum. So think of that quad stretch we did on your belly. If you can, release the right hand back to find that left ankle and draw your left knee in line with the right. Pull your shoulders back, open up your chest. You can stay right here. This is awesome. Or for a wee bit extra, kick your foot into your hands, lean forward, and find a variation on dancer's pose. So again, Give yourself permission to fall. It's totally okay. This is big work for our right outer hip, strengthening here, opening the chest. Good, come back to center and let that go. Shake it all out, nice. Have a laugh, don't take your practice too seriously. It's just fun and it helps us learn about where we are. All right, tree pose, other side. Left leg is your standing leg. Let the right foot find a place to land. Again, this can be a different side or a different variation since it is a different side. So whatever suits you here. You could always blossom your tree open. You know, some of my friends up in New England, you're probably seeing the little buds starting to happen. We're full bloom here in Florida. It's absolutely beautiful. Jasmine's in bloom. It's my favorite time of year. If you'd like to take that fun little variation, right hand to right ankle, and then bring that left arm up and over to the right, pressing the hips slightly to the left. Keep that really fine connection between your foot and your inner thigh. Just see what you can do on this side. Oh, stretch out that left side body. You know it wants it. Good, good focus, good concentration. Come on back to center, bring the right arm up, and then release the right toe to meet the left, sit back, Utkatasana. Roll your inner thighs in and down, and take a peek. Notice where the knees are. Notice, are the toes light or are they gripping? You want them to be nice and light. Relax those shoulders, and then hands come to prayer. Take a nice breath in, let your spine get long. And as you exhale, keep that length as you turn to the right, hooking that left elbow outside of the right knee. Press your palms together and turn the chest, just like we did in that lunge. So think about that same sensation, lengthening the spine, wrapping your left ribs under, right ribs up. See if you can energetically draw your heart towards your thumbs. Stay steady in your feet. Stay low in your hips. On your next breath in, unwind back to Utkatasana. Woo, feeling that. Exhale, come to stand on your left leg as your right knee and foot floats up. Go ahead and release your hands to catch the front of your right shin. And then draw your knee to your chest, stand tall. If you could see yourself from the side, your shoulders would be aligned over your hips, and your hip over your standing heel. This is an awesome pose to practice right here. Or if you'd like to take that dancer variation, let's bring the right hand to the ankle, draw the heel back towards your bum, drop the right knee in line with the left. Stay here, wrap your right shoulder back, open your chest. Maybe the left hand joins the right. So if you can find that, start to roll the shoulders back and then maybe take it an inch further by pressing your foot into your hand, hinging from the hips, woo, and drawing your heart forward as your foot kicks back into your hands. Little variation on dancer's pose. Really nice chest opener. Feel that standing leg getting stronger. Awesome, big breath in. On the exhale, let's step it out nice and wide. Shake out your legs. And take a wide stance with your toes facing forward. Oh, this is gonna feel good. We're on 2 feet now. Take your hands to your hips, roll the shoulders back, take a deep breath in, look up. Exhale from the hips, let's hinge it forward. Bring the hands down. You need to heel toe your feet out a little bit wider. You can find that space, go for it. Dropping the crown of the head down, lengthen your spine. Let's hold on to the ankles, traction the spine by dropping the crown of the head down and lifting the tailbone up. Breathe. Press into the outer edges of your feet. And let's take a twist over to the right side. So left hand is going to grab on to that right ankle or shin. Pull your chest towards your thigh. So think of knee to nose, nose to knee. And stay here with both hands, or maybe that right arm lifts up and you take it into a half bind, wrapping the fingertips either onto the sacrum or in front of that left hip crease. Opening up the shoulder, relax your head, no tension there. Keep the legs active and breathe. And release. Nice. Over to the other side. Woo, that felt good. Taking the right hand to the left ankle or shin. Let's pull the chest towards the thigh. Nose to knee, knee to nose. Staying here or lifting the left arm, going a little deeper, finding the twist. Either that arm stays upright or you take the half bind on this side. Relax your head. Feel what's happening. Reactivate your legs if they got soft. Try not to phone it in. Be present. Beautiful. One more breath. And then exhale to release. We'll walk it back to center. Turn your right toes towards the top of the mat. Bend into your right knee and hop your left foot about almost halfway up, not quite. Turn the left toes at an angle towards the top edge of your mat. And we're going to just straighten both legs. Square the hips. So you want to pull that right hip crease back. Breathe actively into your legs. And then staying here for your pyramid pose, or maybe finding the bind by clasping your hands back behind you. And then lifting the hands up and away from the low back as you fold forward. Lengthen your spine a lot here. Breathing in and breathing out. Staying steady in your legs. Your inner thighs are rolling in and back towards one another here. So kind of feel what that feels like. Good. Slowly release. Bend into your front knee. Step your left foot all the way back and drop the heel down. Bring your right hand inside of your right foot, lean into your right knee, and open up into your modified extended side angle. Or it is extended side angle, but we approached it from a different direction. Hug knee to shoulder, shoulder to knee. Open up your chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lots of rotation here. We're really working on that. Good. And then that left arm comes down. We're going to walk the hands out at that 45-degree angle. So your legs are in warrior two. Your upper body like downward facing dog. So hands in line with the shoulders. Come up onto your finger pads. And as you're ready, drop your chest, push your hips back. So at this diagonal or maybe front and center, coming right down the center line. That could be a little more intense for you. Whatever feels like you're getting a good stretch without over forcing or overdoing it. Big breaths into the hips here. Notice what's going on. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Beautiful. Walk the fingertips in. You're going to straighten that front leg, pivot the toes, and just hang down the center, coming back into Prasarita. You're welcome to grab your big toes or find any other variation here. You could bend into one knee or the other, back and forth, if that provides a good release for you. Shake your head out. Good. And then release whatever bind you have. Walk the hands forward. We're going to pivot those left toes forward and then hop the right foot in and up. So your feet are about 3 feet apart here. Little angle for that right foot, setting up for pyramid pose. Draw your hips to square. So pull your left hip crease back. Draw the front of the right hip forward. Plug evenly through both feet. And then either stay here, fold, or take a bind. If you're taking the clasp, do the opposite grip. Opposite thumb on top. Keep lengthening your spine. Think about drawing your heart towards your big toe. If you have the bind, give your shoulder blades a good squeeze on your back. Open up the chest. One more breath in. On the exhale, gently release. Soft bend into your knee as you step that right foot back. Spin the heel all the way down for your warrior two configuration. Walk your left hand inside your left leg. Lean into it, shoulder to knee to shoulder, and then open up your chest. Wow, lean back, strengthen that back leg, really push into the outer edge of your foot. Peek down, make sure your knee and your ankle on that left side are stacked. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, bring that right hand down. Let's walk the fingertips out at a 45-degree angle. Hands in line with the shoulders. Stretch it out. Keep thinking of lengthening your heart towards your fingertips. On the exhale, you're going to press the hips back. Again, you could be at this angle or more down the center line if that provides more of a stretch for you. I happen to like it with this variation. Breathing in and breathing out. Get long. Keep tractioning your heart forward as you press the hips back. Beautiful. All right, walk the fingertips in. Pivot back towards your left foot. And let's heel toe the foot over to the right. Gently place the knee and the shin down. And shimmy your right knee back for Pigeon Pose. Somebody's favorite. Those right toes point back. Stay upright for a moment to find your lift and to square the hips off. Take any adjustments you need. Grab a block, grab a blanket. Stay up, or as you're ready, come on down. Give yourself a few moments here. In deep breath, eyes closed. So not being in judgment about how tight our bodies are, or how we used to do pigeon and now we can't, or whatever that storyline is that's going on in your head. Accept your body now. Be grateful for the time that you're on your mat, for being here, and for whatever your body can offer. Spend a moment really feeling that external rotation in the left hip. Press into your right foot, the top of the foot, and see if you can really open up your right hip flexor a little bit more. Let the head drop. Make a pillow with your hands, whatever feels really good. One more breath in. Nice slow exhale out. Now your next breath in, begin to gather yourself, walking the hands back. And you can come to downward facing dog or simply back to hands and knees, maybe extending that left leg back, give it a little wiggle, or all the way to a three-legged dog. And then if you come back to hands and knees, we'll slide that right knee forward. Try to adjust the shin so that it comes to a little more parallel to the top of the mat, but don't crank it or make it feel tweaky in any way. Walk your left knee back, untuck the toes, square the hips, set yourself up for a beautiful experience on this side, whatever that looks like for you. Right away, you'll notice the difference, left and right, right and left. They hold different stories. but we don't need to attach to them. We just need to kind of clear them out. So think of this as a little spring cleaning. Breathing deeply, trying to relax, right? Rather than resist, try to drop into the pose. Letting your breath just help you ride the wave of whatever sensation you're feeling. Deep breath in, long breath out. And gently begin your transition out of the pose, lifting yourself up. And this time we'll come to rest on that right sit bone as we extend our legs forward. So give your right leg a little shake here. And let's bend the knees and come all the way down onto our backs. Pull the knees into the chest. And then let's slide the hands inside of the knees to grab the outer edges of the feet for happy baby. Drawing the knees actively down towards the mat while we press the ball and the sole of the foot up towards the sky. Creating a little sensation here. Our last hip blast. Oh, should feel really good. Nice. And then release just your left leg long. We're going to guide that right knee across the chest and extend your right arm all the way out. So taking a spinal twist, let the front and the back of that right shoulder melt down, turning your palm up towards the sky, and then guiding your knee across your body any amount that it'll go. If you're tight like me, it's not going to want to go too far, but it feels so good. So we did a lot of twisting tonight. The twisting from the base of the spine all the way up through the neck, the crown of the head, bringing a little bit more freedom to our central axis. We'll come out of this. Nice and slow, unwind, and then let's pull that left knee into the chest. Draw it across the body to the right as you extend your left arm out, letting the left shoulder drop, left palm faces the sky. Maybe you turn your gaze in that direction. Bringing yourself out one last time. Feel the release. Good. And then as you're ready, on an exhale, gently unwind and take yourself into your final resting pose. So we began in Baddhakonasana. If you'd like to end in Suktavadakanasana, bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees softly open. You may notice right away that you have more ease in opening up into this pose. You can take one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest, or maybe cactus your arms with the backs of the hands to the floor, palms facing up. This is a really nice way to soften the shoulders. And then actively release your jaw. So maybe part the lips and let your jaw go slack. And release your breath work. Allow the body to just breathe naturally. Giving yourself permission to let all the benefits of your practice integrate here. The hard work is done. And now you just reap all the goodness of your work, your breath, your intentions, your focus. Taking a few moments in peace and stillness to close out your practice. and to bring meaning to your practice. Feel your body continue to soften towards the floor. Let your mind drift. To transition out, we'll go ahead and stretch our arms all the way overhead. And then if your legs aren't extended already, go ahead and extend them and take a full body stretch here, reaching out in both directions, through fingertips and through the toes. Imagine you're being tugged in both directions. Get super long here. And then gently draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. And you can roll off to one side or simply rock yourself up to come up and back into our seat to close out. Take whatever position here feels good to you. Allow your hands to meet in front of your heart. And I'll just leave you with a thought that we are approaching the first new moon of the astrological year. This is on Friday, and it's in Aries. And Aries is the initiating sign. It's the pioneer, and with it comes a lot of activity. So if there are projects you want to get off the ground, if there's something that you really want to initiate, even if it's just cleaning your house or, taking a trip, now's the time to do it. So set your intentions, dream big, and always bring some sunshine into your life one way or another. We're going to need it as a collective energy. Thumbs to the third eye center. Let's bow to one another, acknowledging our light. Namaste. Thank you always for joining me, and thank you so much for letting me guide you. Always a pleasure. Have a beautiful evening or day wherever you are. Namaste, yogis.